What's up, guys? It's your boy, and today we are going to be doing a bit of a state of the channel. If you're watching this right now and it's just come out, the chances are I am currently in Japan. That's right, I'm going to be there for 2 weeks just exploring the country, doing whatever I feel like. But while I'm there, I decided I wanted to do one more video to close out the year. That's right, I'm going to take next week off for New Year's, and then once I come back from Japan, you guys will have a fresh new video upon my arrival. But that said, I wanted to do this video as a sort of state of the channel for you guys because it's been quite an eventful year from both a personal life standpoint and a content standpoint. And I wanted to tell you guys where I am, just kind of in the midst of that, some of the good and some of the bad, so that you guys can know what to expect going into the next year from me. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. If you like this video and you love me, which, let's be honest, how could you not love this face? Go ahead and like and subscribe. I'm going to assume, since it's a state of the channel, most of you already are subscribed. But if you're not, and this is how you find me, I'd really appreciate it. So that said, I'm going to get straight into kind of the gist of things. And what I'm going to start with is the bad, because there's the good and the bad. And I always like starting out with the bad because that means we can end on a good note. So we're going to talk about some of kind of the challenges I've had this year, and then kind of what the focuses are for the year to come, and some of the successes that we've had come out of this year too. And when I say that 2022 was possibly the hardest year of content for me, and just one of the harder years in general for me, I'm not lying when I say that. And, you know, it's actually kind of cliche for a lot of YouTubers to be like, this was the hardest year of my life. And I don't want to make it sound like it was, because I've had some other years where I've had things happen and things have been pretty difficult. But this year in particular came with a few distinct challenges, and some on the content side. I think the biggest content failure this year was I had a big Minecraft SMP server with some just absolutely huge plans going on in the background, but in May there was just some stuff going on in the background that was really rough at the time. Fortunately, I mean, that's all worked out now, but at the time when you're trying to do a big SMP style server, it can present some challenges. So we had some personal things going on there, and then on top of that, the viewership was really low as well compared to some of my other stuff. So I won't call it a disaster, but it was just kind of a failure on many different fronts. So you have that going on, and then later in the year, there's more personal stuff that I went through. We had some kind of highs as we went through some of the summer, especially later in the summer. But then once we got to fall and I started back at school, I was planning the trip that I'm currently on to Japan. I had 5 classes that I was taking at once, and one of them was an accelerated course, which basically means I'm getting double the content in half the time. So think of it really as 6 classes at once, planning a trip and doing 2 streams a week and a video for you guys. And honestly, that was just really, really difficult for me. But I persevered through, and you know, I'm really proud of the fact that I was able to manage from Labor Day, that weekend, forward all the way to Thanksgiving. I didn't miss an upload. I might have done 1 or 2 a day late, like on a Sunday, because we needed to get the edits in order and all that. But that's neither here nor there. The point of that is that we were able to maintain a really, really good upload streak, but it was all kind of in the midst of a lot of personal issues that I was going through, trying to manage so many different things at once. And, you know, it sounds like I'm really complaining about a problem that maybe I should have had multiple different times. I mean, I'm doing college, right? So, like, is it not any more difficult than another semester? It was really more of a communication error with some of my classes. 2 of my classes in particular, I had professors who didn't even really join the courses until later on. So there was a lot of communication errors, and I just didn't feel like I was in control of anything in my life at that time. It was very just disjointed. A disjointedness just creates a lot of mental kind of... It's not even that anything is really truly going wrong, but you create a lot of problems in your head when you don't have control of things, and that's just kind of what was going on for me. So a couple different times in this year, I really just kind of struggled to get through things. And, you know, the good thing about being able to stream and being able to do YouTube is that even when I was at my lowest points, and even when I was probably overexerting myself doing YouTube and Twitch when I needed to focus more on classes, is that I still had you guys. You guys were there, still leaving comments on videos, showing up to Twitch streams. So if you were there, especially in late spring and then early kind of fall, those were some times where I was going through a lot. Whenever I had viewers who were there just kind of interacting back and forth, it meant a ton to me. So if you were there for that, I mean, in general, this is a thank you video for you guys being there, but I'll get to that more in a little bit. But specifically during those times when I was having a really rough go of it, I appreciate you guys sticking with me and just, hanging around as I went through some really tough stuff. And I'm proud to say, and we're going to kind of transition into the good stuff now, I'm proud to say at the end of this semester, because this is really what's important to me, is I not only am managing a Twitch and YouTube, which you guys get to reap the benefits of, but in the background I have a personal life with college. And I'm proud to say that as of right now, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm like 98% sure that I'm going to have gone through this semester with a 4.0 GPA, all A grades, which is really, really something I'm proud of, the fact that I was able to make it through this semester and manage my classes and look at it at the end of the day and go, look, I succeeded with my classes and managed to do Twitch and YouTube. So that is just a huge accomplishment for myself. It's something I'm really proud of. And I really will say something else that I am proud of is what you're watching right now, the YouTube channel. I really feel like in the past few months, I've kind of leaned into a niche of doing these kind of topical anime videos. Some of them do well, some of them don't do too well, but I at least am able to come up with pretty consistent videos every single week because I understand kind of the flow of content better, and I'm able to give you guys something I think is of interest. Because really, I've got a list of some content ideas and things, but what ends up happening is I'll take a very broad topic, and I'll find some niche thing within that and be able to create a video on it, and it's something that I think is typically pretty interesting. The most recent example I think of which is the Animal Crossing video that I did, where I found out that there was an Animal Crossing anime movie in the mid-2000s, and there's not really a lot of press about it, and I thought it was cool, so I brought it to your guys' attention. This sometimes works, and I get quite a few views too, and this is really cool. This brings me to kind of the growth element of things. Really, in terms of like subscribers and followers, it might not look like much, but numbers have really grown there. I was looking at my YouTube recap, and I've gotten something like 68 or 69, that's kind of a funny number, subscribers in the past year. That is over doubling my subscriber count, which is huge. That's so cool. And then on top of that, I also have gotten basically my Twitch numbers over doubled as well, because if I remember correctly, I had my 100th follower playing Hollow Knight, and that 100th follower was my dad, which was awesome. That was a cool little stream. And now I'm at 220 followers as of this video. Whether that's going to continue to go up or if it's going to tank, I have no idea. But it is really cool to see those numbers having exponentially increased, because that's really encouraging to me. That tells me that there is some interest in the content that I make, and it encourages me to keep going. So if you are one of those people who is subscribed or followed, get on the train, because we're not stopping yet. I have no idea where the train's going in terms of numbers, but I will say that's been very encouraging. And we had some huge successes on the Twitch. My current viewer count maximum, so the most people who are watching at the same time, exploded after I got rated by a major Celeste streamer, and it spiked up to 113. So that's a cool record to have, is 113 people watching me on Twitch at one time. I didn't think that would ever happen, let alone in the span of a single stream. So huge shout out to Parrot Dash, who was the guy who rated me at that time. But just, that was really cool. And then YouTube, there were a couple videos that absolutely exploded. And it's funny, it's not that I don't have intentions of videos getting views. I obviously want them to get views, but I had one, about me going to LA. I feel that it's my best video of this year, and it did really well. It got around 350 views, which is well over double my subscriber count. So that did really well, but the one that did the best was the anime you cannot watch, which has a picture of summertime rendering in the back, or summertime render in the background with a Disney logo as the thumbnail. And it got over 1,500 views, 1,500 views. It just got caught up in the algorithm, and just, I remember just throughout the week, I would like turn on my phone and I'd go to YouTube Studio and I'd refresh and I'd have like 100 more views. It was wild. There's nothing quite like it for me, except for a short that I did. And this was a short that my buddy Cade really came up with the idea with, and I posted it on my channel, and it now has over 3,000 views. It's by far my most viewed piece of content on my channel. So lots of really huge things happened. The LA trip was a rousing success. I had so much fun being able to not only go and meet all of those content creators. If you have not watched that video, highly recommend it. And then past that, being able to just share that with you guys. It just means a lot that I'm able to share that with people and get to reminisce in that experience with you guys. As a content creator, I would say though, my biggest kind of question that I ask myself is what's next? And that's really hard for me to ask a lot of the time, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the trailer last week for what I believe is the next big thing for the Jelswick brand. But it's really hard after meeting, you know, some of YouTube's biggest creators and going out to Los Angeles to say, what's the next big thing? But I always have ideas in the background, and I have plenty of things to look forward to in the future. A lot of them are longer term, broad projects that I really want to give to you guys, but I just, this semester, with my crappy September, October, with my crappy spring, I just haven't really had the time to sit down and work on in a dedicated fashion. So if I manage to get the time to do even one of those projects, I promise you guys, you will not be disappointed. One thing that I've been talking about a lot, for instance, is my music ventures, which I do have plans for. I do want to continue doing music stuff. It's just been going a lot slower because I've been busy, my producer's been busy. It's just been a lot of busyness and a lot of personal things going on in the background that's made it really hard. But one thing, for instance, that you guys have brought up a lot is another season, for instance, of Subs and Dubs, which is the game show that I did in late 2020, or late 2021 rather, going into 2022 in like January and February. A lot of people really liked it, and I really want to bring a game show back. I'm still kind of planning out the details as to what I want there and how I want it to be done. But rest assured, I was able to sit down with my editor probably in November and just kind of get a list of things that I want to do. It's not perfect. There's still more that I would like to add to it. But in general, I look at it and I'm very encouraged by the fact that, you know, I think a lot of people, if they were in the same position that I was in, would say, I have no like video ideas left. That's what makes this really difficult, and I'm kind of suffering from burnout. I've definitely had some creative challenges where it's getting the motivation to film and edit video can be hard. However, I'm not out of ideas, and I have plenty of things that I want to work on in the future. So now is the best time. It's always the best time to be a Jelswick fan, and I really hope to see the subscriber count, the follow count continue to increase as I get to share some more of my ideas with you guys, because the journey, I personally believe at this point, is far from over. And I don't mean to sound like it's all a numbers thing and that isn't a vain thing, but what I'm trying to say is simply the fact that I've really enjoyed the journey up to this point, and I hope to continue to see the people who are already here stay on the train, and to invite some more people on the train as we go along, because I just really enjoy having you guys there, commenting on videos, being in chat, and just it's just so encouraging to me. So I'm just gonna finish off this little bit by saying thank you guys so much for sticking around this year. If you're kind of newer here, or you've been here since I started on Twitch in really early 2021, and knew me as just some Mr. Beast guy who played Genshin Impact, wherever you join me on this journey, I just appreciate you guys. A couple special shout outs I have. Merbulus, my man, has been just really nice in sharing some Steam games with me and has made that possible over on the Twitch channel, and is generally just a great dude. So thank you to Merbulus for everything he's done for the channel. Chippy for just being a Chad and being there like during some of the late night streams where it'd just be him and me. Some of those harder times where I wouldn't have a lot of viewers, he would be there, and it meant so much. And then last but not least, my Chad moderator, Cryptic Android. 2 things about him. Just want to say, so glad you're here, man. And you have been an asset to the channel ever since you got here. And that's not in monetary terms. That is in having you here. You are an asset just being in chat and talking and watching. And it really just means a lot to have you around, just like Chippy. You guys have been around for so long at like nearly every stream, and it means a ton. Also, Omar is kind of newer, and I'd be remiss if I was talking about viewers. He's a hype man. Omar's a hype man. If you need a hype man, just talk to Omar. That's all the personal shout-outs I'm going to give. But that said, thank you guys for listening to me rant for a little while. I just wanted to give kind of where we're at. There's much to come, and there's much we've done. And you guys will get to figure out soon enough what's next.
I'll take you to a secret place.